Well, you ready?
Ready for what?
Alright. What we're going to do is, just like last time, whenever I recorded and I lost the information because I screwed up somehow.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the interview all over again.
Yeah.
It's however you want to say it. You know, be as honest as you want to be,
Yeah.
or can be, because I know certain things you can't really talk about.
No.
Which, that's fine. You know, we're all about privacy and stuff like that on here. If something you don't feel like sharing, don't.
No.
But every now and then I'm going to pause and ask you a question or two here and there of what you're talking about, and we'll just go from there. Alright? How's it going, everybody? My name is John from John Armory Dad, and of course, this is my dad. If you've seen some of my videos and everything like that, you will see him giving an instruction on sharpening a chainsaw, which, of course, you know, me being his idiot son here, I didn't know how to use that machine. I was asking questions as best as I could to inform you guys as well. You may have also seen him making jokes about a pregnant four-wheeler, which I did like that one myself. You might want to check that one out. He has also made a video, and keep in mind, them two videos I'm talking about right now, these were like years ago, before his MS really started bothering him. But he also made a video of him testing out a bicycle for a little kid that he had just gotten, and if you've seen it, it's funny. But without further ado, Dad, would you like to start? First, we'll start off with, what was your life like before you went to the Army?
Well, it started off strange. My so-called parents was up in Alaska. My real dad, he was stationed at Land Air Force Base up there, and that's where I was born. And I would imagine a week after I was born, they stuck me on an airplane coming back to the States. And my grandparents had to raise me from there up till, I don't remember, I think probably about 6 or 7. My sister was a year younger, and they had her stuck with my other grandparents. So I don't know where she was born. She was raised up until, like I said, I was about 6 or 7, old enough to where they thought we was old enough to do chores and work, stuff like that. And when they went to pick us up, you know, we had never seen them, you know, at all. Whenever we were first born, we didn't know who the hell they was. We don't remember back that far. We didn't know who in the world they were.
Yeah.
And it was, oh hell, I guess most I said was life from hell. From that day forward, up until probably, I would say I was 14, my sister was 13, and on a daily basis, when we come home from school, the old man would be drinking, or my stepdad, because she'd been married. You had an ass whooping coming. It was dinner every day. We didn't know why or what we did. And they just decided they wanted to whoop our asses. We were that type of people. And that went on for years and years. And finally one day, I've been at school. I was taking the powdered protein.
Yeah.
Doing everything I could to build muscle up. And the old man came after us, and he was using plaster lash. And these damn things still had the little nails in them. And he went after me, and he waylaid me. And I had, I don't know how many puncture holes in my back from the damn nails. And blood running everywhere. And he turned around and went after my sister. And that was a mistake. There was a piece of 2x4 laying on the floor. I picked it up and I whacked him. And probably about 3 times I whacked him. And finally got a hold of him, just screamed through the living room plate glass window. I said, enough is enough. I said, we ain't living like this no more. So I grabbed what I had with me, just my jacket and my school book, and walked out the door. And I had no idea where I was going. And I'm walking up the road, going to the highway. And this was in New Minden, a little small town. And I hear footsteps behind me. Turn around, my sister. I said, what are you doing? You ain't leave me in that hellhole to put up with that anymore. I'm coming with you. So Nashville was probably about, I would say, 7 miles from New Minden. Me and her walked that whole distance there, and we knew where my grandparents lived. So we walked to their house, and they were sitting on the porch. I told them what was going on, and they took us in the house and showed us the 2 rooms upstairs. She'd be in one room, and I'd be in the other. And we started going to school down there. And on probably when I don't know how old I was. I think I was 15, and she was 14 at the time. Really stayed with grandparents a little less than a year. So this crap happened. I was mowing grass out the cemetery. Doing an odd job, make a little bit of money. Please come up. Said, are you Jerry Yugi? Which back then, I thought my name was Jerry Yugi. That's all I ever knew. And I said, yeah. Well, you got to come with me. He says, I asked him, I said, what did I do? Nothing. He said, you got to come with me. And they drove me all the way to Centralia, and they pull up this house on Walnut Street, North End, and this big old long white house. And he said, this is where you're going. What is it? He said, this is basically a foster home. This is where you're going to be your water state now. I said, how about my sister? Where's she at? Well, they're putting her up in Vandalia. Another home like that. So we lost contact with each other. And more about the first day, I realized hell was starting again. They were abusive big time. And they would put you to work doing just, stupid stuff. Making money, they grabbed all the money, just like my stepdad and mom did. And the money we made, they took. This home was get the money from the state, but they weren't buying our clothes or anything. We had to go out and work, get jobs to buy our own clothes if we wanted clothes to go to school. This went on until probably about 17 and a half. And I went up to the recruiting station and filled out all the paperwork. He said, well, we can't do that with you till you turn 18. Let's turn 18, they will go in. That was the longest 6 months of my life working on that to happen. And right after my birthday, I went up there and enlisted. My birthday was in June, and enlisted in July. And that was the start of a pretty good life there. When I went to basic training in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and went through that, got all my testing and stuff done, for intelligence to see if I was dumping a box of rocks or not. And come to find out, I scored so high on the testing stuff. Instead of going to Vietnam like I thought I was going to go, they said, no, you're going to Fort Harrison, Indiana. What's there? Well, that's a computer school. You're going to learn computers. You're going to be a computer operator. That's cool. Sounds like fun. And I went through the classes and got my certificate. And they said, well, now we're going to Fort Myers, Virginia. And from there, they'll tell you where you're going to be assigned. I said, okay, I was a long bus ride out there. Got there, and they took us from the barracks. And I was barracks, so ain't nothing like basic training courses. And they had my orders, and it said downstairs in the Pentagon, room such and such, and it said no percent. I get there, and there was riders down in the basement of the Pentagon, and I've never seen so many officers in my life. Just big roads, walking all over the place. And I got downstairs at the Pentagon, and the computers they was running, if I remember right, was IBM 36050, something like that. And the room was probably 40 foot wide, probably about 100 foot long. And there's 3 rooms consolidated all together. And all that room, all put together, actually had the memory and capabilities of doing about what a regular telephone does now.
Yeah.
Just that behind.
Now keep in mind, for those who don't know, back in the day, they worked off of reels. They were gigantic reels that stored the information on it, almost like a gigantic VHS tape.
You know, tape disc drives. They had tape drives, they had disc drives, which looked like 45 records, but there was about 10 of them on a stack with a shaft in the middle of them. And you had to insert that in, and it would read on the disc. And then when you went to program it, you had to sit down and, well, you had to know the programming language, which was Fortran and COBOL, I think it was. And when you typed it all out, it would do it on little punch cards. And you had to keep them all in order, and you had to put it in card readers. Then the reader would do what you just did on a keyboard, program it in. And this room, thought it was like, 3/4 of the way dark. You could see your way around, but there wasn't hardly any light in it at all. No windows whatsoever. And the room temperature was down like 65. So it was cool all the time.
Kind of like being in prison in wintertime.
Yeah. And they had to have it down like that because them computers and everything could put out so much heat that if it got too warm in there, it would destroy all the stuff that was on them. And I put up with that about a year, and I begged them, give me Christmas. I need to change my arm lessons. I can't handle this. It's just like being in prison.
Well, it's not just that. It's all the information that you were privy to and everything you just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah. I said, the stuff that I know down here, I don't want to know. That's more information than I ever want to know. And they said, well, okay. You're going to lose your clearance. Well, I don't care. Clearance is nothing. At the time, I was on, it wasn't top secret, I think it's what they call it with crypto, which is pretty much the highest clearance you can have. And they said, well, we've got an opening to where you can become a supply sergeant. You'll have your office, but then you're outside 50% of the time. You know, picking up items, drive around picking this up and that up, and keeping track of all the property that the church has got, the issued stuff, like the beds, sheets, and cabinets, and whatever else is issued to them. You got to keep track of that and inventory it. And well, that sounds pretty good. So I was down in Fort Bragg. I spent maybe a year and a half down there. And I came up on orders that I was going to be going to Korea. I didn't know whether I got it or not. I heard about Korea back then. Around here, it was a filthy country back then. And and said, well, aircraft will be out there to pick you up. Yeah, there's other troops going out there too. Aircraft come in, C-130. Now a big old cargo plane. The seat was uncomfortable as hell. And we flew over there. I didn't think we ever get there. Not a fast flight at all. And rough. Got there and I was sicker than a dog. Everybody was riding on it. It was about half sick. Get there and they showed me where my bilge was. And it was a big concrete thing. Brick walls. Pretty nice barracks. And they said, well, he said, part of your test scores and everything else, the colonel over there requested to see if you could go on his MRI team, his material residence team. I said, well, what is that? That is a team that tours all of South Korea in a bus. They go around all the 38th Brigade missile sites all along the DMZ, all through the country, and then down at Jeju Island, they got one. And they inspect them, and you'll be inspecting all their supplies, their ammunition, their fuel consumption, all the stuff like that. Well, I don't have that. So, we started the tours. I started to put my uniform on, and you got to take the rank camouflage.
Yep.
He said, fellas, some of the sites you're going to along that DMZ is the border line is right down on the side of that mountain. You look down it and you see the North Koreans doing their field exercises out there. And I said, that's kind of weird. He said, yeah, he said, the reason we don't wear a rank up here is if all our war breaks out and you're captured, they don't want to know who the officer is.
Well, they don't. The Army doesn't want the enemy to know.
Yeah. So if the enemy knows, you're an officer, they really treat them bad.
You're done for.
Yeah, you're done for. So when we got there, he said, now when the soldiers come up, they'll be saluting you along with the other guys. And so, just salute them back, just like an officer would. That was kind of weird. I never went through that before. I was saluting them, I could see it if I went through the OCS with an officer or something.
Felt good though, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It felt good. And after about the fourth site, my supply sergeant, it was on the company side. I told him, I said, you know what? I said, I'm running against something that their accountability of fuel is pathetic. I said, the damn fuel's being troubled right and left. Their ammunition, they've got so much ammunition that's got suspended lot numbers. They're supposed to have been turned in. They shouldn't even have them there. And there's all kinds of crap like that. He said, well, you got a way to cure that? I said, we got a damn, what's one of them damn typewriters where you can type the message out and shoot it. And the companies that you're talking about, and it comes up on teletype on theirs. And I said, what I'll do is type to work every day around 5 o'clock that they all have to tell me what their beginning balance of fuel is and their ending balance of fuel. And all the fuel was dispensed in different vehicles. And then on the JP4, that was the fuel for the airplane, keep track of that. He said, well, that sounds good. He said, think I'll do it? I said, if you put it in there where it's per SB 720 regulation, I said, it's all for that. That's the guidelines for it. So I sent that out, and then I got checking with headquarters. I said, can you send me a copy of all the lot numbers of the ammunition they're supposed to be suspended each day. I said, yeah, we'll send it to you about noon. That'll work, because I want to send it out to the company same time that I send out the other one. And I sent that out, and the next day I checked all the day messages, and it actually worked. I got messages from each one of them, each one of the companies, I think there was something like 8 or 10 of them along with DMZ, and throughout the country and then down at Digital Island. And they sent me for the beginning field balance and ending field balance, and what they were using, or what vehicles they was putting in, and did the calculations. And after about 3 days, the amount started jiving. So they was actually starting to watch their fuel consumption, making sure there was nothing being used other than it was those damn vehicles. So it ended up being damn near perfect on the filter of fuel and stuff like that anymore. And the ammunition, I sent out daily letters with lot numbers of ammunition that had to be turned back into headquarters. And it took about a week, and I got a message back out of all of them that they'd sent all the ammunition was suspended back. And every day, if they found any of suspended, they would send it back and they'd send me a report of what ammunition it was, like 5.56 or 45 cal. I ended up cleaning that up pretty good. So I think about 6 months later, we went around and started inspecting them. And all the companies that were having problems, when we went back to check them, they had no problems at all. All the suspended ammunition was gone. The fuel, we checked the fuel. The fuel was right on the bubble of what it should be. And that worked out very good. I went up on the board for promotion. By the time I was in Spec 4, I was a corporal, I guess you call it.
Yeah.
And I was just waiting to see when the numbers were going to come to where I would be qualified. And I think about a week before my rotation back to state was, the general come down. Oh shit, what the hell is going on now? Somebody was deep shit. He said, Corporal, you here? Yes, sir, I'm right here. He said, got something up there for you. And what the hell is this all about? So I get up, walk up there, and he hands me a paper. He said, this is what you're going to have now. You're going to have an Army Combination Medal. And he stated in there because of new regulations that I come up with that took care of all the ammunition, all the fuel. He said, it's the first time they've had it, that even since he's been there. I don't know, he's been over there something 4 years. And he was getting our combination medal for that.
Could you explain what a tour is for somebody who doesn't understand that?
A tour over Korea is a year.
So he's been there about 4 years.
Yeah, he's been there about 4 years.
Okay.
And he said something else too. He said, you went on the board for sergeant. There's your orders. You're now a sergeant. You need to hand me your corporal pin. He said, you don't stick sergeant pins on this. So they did that. I was tickled to death.
Yeah.
And even though the country smelled like a sewer, and some of the strangest stuff happened over there.
I can imagine.
Yeah. It's like they had a Korean peach campaign. That was some good stuff. I mean, it tasted good, but when you're drinking this stuff, you got the god-awful headache before you got drunk. And that was the hangover.
Yeah.
And we never did figure out why, but after we woke back up, that was fine. You didn't have a hangover afterwards. And a couple weeks later, we got a message that the use of peach Oscar is now outlawed. It's all been destroyed. Anybody in Korea that manufactures stuff, if they get caught selling to a soldier, that's prison time right then and there. And he didn't know why. I said, what's the matter with it? He said it was tested. Come to find out it was 50% human urine.
Oh.
That they were making this out of. So we were drinking human piss. 50% of bottles, a bottle that damn big, we were drinking a couple pints of damn piss. And that just freaked everybody out. Yeah, I came back to the States then, and landed in Hawaii. And I had the plane left there about an hour, so we got to walk around a little bit. I don't like the looks of that place, but I wouldn't want to stay there though. And let's see, I came back to the States, and went back to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, and got there, and I was fly sergeant there, which that was a pretty gravy job, As a fly sergeant, you had to keep records of all the property, the company's gas, everything, and that was not too hard to deal with. And if you needed anything, them guys would do anything for you. Because you kind of have their
Respect,
but then you had their asses.
you had him in a sling.
You had them in a sling. So they screwed you over, you could definitely screw them over quick. You could change the damn inventory papers.
Yeah.
And so, where's this at? Okay. Well, you're going to have to pay for it then.
Yep. In the inventory.
Yep. And I had one lieutenant there. I mean, he was a showfall. Every day he was coming up with something stupid to aggravate.
Ain't this the cherry bomb incident you told me about when I was little?
So,
You said something about one of the officers or something like that. He would go to the bathroom, hide and everything like that. And one day you got fed up and put a cherry bomb in the toilet.
I think that was there. That's hard to remember.
Well, it's fine.
But anyway, he kept screwing with every damn thing, screwing my paperwork up. And when I got ready to transfer the 205th NP company in the same port,
Yeah.
wanted me over there. They needed supply charges. And I had orders already. But before I left, residing flight officer was the inventory. And he had to sign off on all this stuff there. He didn't pay no attention. He could sign off on that stuff. And what he didn't know is there was a lot of made up stuff put up.
Uh-huh.
And when I got over to the MP company, I seen him like my city trader. He said, "Boy, you got me good." He said, "I got charged for something like $5,000 and stuff that I signed for. I don't know where it's at." I said, "I don't know either. I don't know what you did with it. You got him good, Teacher was screw with me."
Yeah.
But with the MP company, it was a pretty dick job too, because everybody around, even though he wasn't an actual MP, he was a supply sergeant MP, they didn't know whether to screw you or not. Because, you didn't have to come, all you had to do is tell one of them.
Yeah.
And they would follow their asses around and nail them for something.
Oh, yeah.
But one day the captain, he said, "Hey, we're going over to qualify, over to firing range. One indoor building and one outdoor building." He said, "You want to go with us?" "Yeah, I'll see why not." He said, "We'll just see if you're any good in the gun." I said, "No, okay." I said, "We'll find out." damn near a sniper. And I went through basic. They marked me down as a sniper qualified.
Yeah.
And they was all up there. And they was, I think they was doing the 45s first. And I had a target probably 50 foot away. And the red dot circle on this thing, on the silhouette of the Uber, was probably about the size of a $half. And none of them hit me. They was getting 2-3 inches from it, which was still a kill shot. And walked over and he said, well, it's your turn. I got that with 45 up. Slammed it on the damn hand just as hard as I could. And I ain't doing it. And fast dog comes around on that thing. Every single shell went in that damn red dot.
Yeah.
They freaked out over that. Then it was time for 38. 38. Like this is just louder. The 45 was a semi-automatic, or the damn 38 was just a regular revolver. And they would have a trouble with it because when they fired, it kicked up. And if you got to put your hold down, and some bitch was right before you fire, you got to put extra pressure on it to hold it down. And I outshot every damn one of them for that damn thing.
Yeah.
M16, the same thing. I blew them all away.
Now, was this the M16A1 or the M16A2?
A1.
A1s? Okay.
And that was kind of cool there. But I gained respect to all the MPs after that. They always want to know the secrets of how to shoot you. It's all in the control. It's all in your hands. I said, when you get ready to fire, you should take a deep breath and hold it. Sucker, don't breathe. Every breath you take will make your body move.
That's right.
We've got to saw that.
If you have to breathe, do it very, very slow.
Yeah. And time was up. PTS, they was getting ready to give me a staff sergeant, which was Sergeant E6. And I was E5 already. That'd be nice. But you're on orders to go to Europe. Holy shit. And well, that's not gonna work. Because I thought my the old lady ran off. That was my first wife. And I got them. On my age, I can't afford to have somebody take care of them. 3 years I'm over there, but that's what the average tour to Europe is.
Yeah.
And I pondered and pondered and thought I was just screw it. I'm going to just go ahead and rotate on out. And I ETS out. And now I'll get way ahead of myself. When I was in the engineer company, there was a girl there came in, and she was having trouble with her husband. She had a Mexican husband. He was illegal. And he was beating the piss out of her. And I contacted the damn MPs over there and said, hey, her old man's illegal labor. He's not supposed to be here. What can you do? Well, we can take care of that real easy. So they grabbed him up, deported him, took him on back down. And they wrote a piece of paper about it. And somehow she took that over to the provost marshal office, and that's legal courthouse like. And they submitted the paperwork, and he was on back to divorce.
Yeah.
And we got to screw around, and I ended up marrying her.
That's
Lynn.
yeah, my mom.
Yeah. And went ahead and we take it out, and she got pregnant, and the first child was Ran. Then a year later, we had you.
No, 3 years. 3 years.
I know 3 years difference between you.
Yes, there is.
Sure.
3 years difference.
You say so. I don't remember.
That's okay. I do.
But anyway, we moved around here and there, wondering what job I could. And we finally settled down here on oh, the road probably about half from here.
Yeah.
An old farmhouse. It's not too bad of a place. And I think John's time, he was probably about, I think 2 or 3 years old maybe. Still in diapers.
He's talking about me, folks.
Huh?
You said John. I was like letting them know you're talking about me.
Yeah. This little shit right here. And his sister, we had her there. I don't remember how old she lived then. But anyway, we found out we had a cousin who lived right down the road. His name was Charles. Everybody called him Charlie. And him and his wife, they liked his kids good. Kids all got along good. And we go down there every now and then, spend a lot of time. And Joanne never wanted to go. She wanted to stay home. Since we wouldn't go to town to spend money, she didn't want to go. Okay. So one day Charles called me and he said, hey, remember that little pony I had out here? Yeah. It died last night. You think you'd come down and help me bury that thing? I said, yeah. I got a shovel along with you. So we was out there digging. And Charles said, look here. Look at something down the road. Here comes my ex with you in the stroller, and your sister holding on to the stroller. And they get out there fairly close to the house, and she looks up and turns around and walks off. I don't know what the hell is this crap. Now she's really pushing the limit now. So I got the truck, I ran down there, picked the guys up, started back over to Charles, we finished the job. And Charles said, what are you going to do now? I said, well, we're going down there and make sure she don't go back in the house. Yeah, she's done. So I went down there, I had a fistful of nails and a hammer. I nailed the door shut, and I nailed all the windows shut. And about 2 hours later, she comes in. She said, I can't get in the house. You're not going to get in the house. And you done screwed up when you abandoned these kids out here in the middle of the road like that. What would you done if some car would come flying around the corner like you usually do? Both of them have been dead. Well, I didn't think of that. I was like, you're going to think about shit now. I mean, we're getting divorced. So she ended up shacking around with a damn Mexican and ripped him off how much money. Of course, she get bus ticket back to New Jersey. Well, we figured she's going to stay there.
And forgive him, folks, he doesn't mean to be racist against Mexican people or anything like that. It's his term for that specific guy, because he was a real piece of work.
Yeah, he was something else. But whenever he got the money off of him, he turned around and goes back to New Jersey. And come to find out, she ended up getting this good paying job up there as a courier for a bank.
Mm-hmm.
So she was making $1,500 to $2,000 every week. And court case come up where we were getting a divorce. And we got our divorce. That was no problem at all. Didn't even have to have her there. And turned around, I told Charles something, you know what? I said, men in this situation, they'd have to pay child support. I'm going back to court.
Mm-hmm.
He said, that's a good idea. So I got hold of the lawyer and went back to court to give her the child support. And they subpoenaed her. They did something where she's supposed to be there. And she come back. And she goes up to court. And Dad says, well, we got to decide what the child support's going to be. How much it's going to be, because you're going to be paying. And she comes up with a paper where she was on unemployment. How are you on unemployment? You got a courier job at the bank. Well, I quit that so I could come back here. The judge looked at her and he was you're a real piece of work. The only reason you quit the job and come back here and draw unemployment is you didn't want to pay child support. He said, well, I got news for you. You're still going to pay child support.
Yeah.
Which wasn't a whole lot, but, it was just the idea. I think for both you and Rand, I'm going to get some like $50 a month. But it's still enough to stick around.
I remember back then being barely $30 a month.
That's not bad. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it is.
But, that's most of us. I worked down at, I got a job over at Texas Breeze,
Hero.
and I worked there for 21 years.
Yep.
And I was making good money. And my foreman, at the time that I finally retired from there, he was a real good friend of mine. And I think about 5 or 6 years before I retired, he made me lead out there, which I was drawing $1 more an hour than everybody else. And when he wasn't there, if he had to go on vacation or something, I'd be the foreman. I'd take over for him. And it tickled me to death because, when I took over for that week or 2 weeks, whatever, I wasn't drawing my pay before. I was drawing the foreman's pay.
Yeah.
My God, that was something like $3,000 a month that they get. So I was getting some damn big money.
Back then, that was a lot of money. Now it's not so much.
Yeah. But anyway, I guess probably about 2007 is when I really noticed I was having problems.
Yeah.
I was getting bad headaches, tripping all the time. Right foot just did not want to pick up, stumble along. And thank God the company kind of turned a blind eye to it, because you're supposed to report every fall, every mishap. And I had quite a few mishaps. I carried bandages and super glue in my work bag at the corner of the line all the time. If I had a big cut or something, I took every chance to get put super glue on it and let it dry, and good to go.
And all the while you were going to the doctors trying to figure out what's going on, and they didn't tell you nothing. And
well, I went to one doctor over there in Breeze at St. Joseph's Hospital. He said, well, let's do an MRI. Let's see what's going on. I did the MRI with contrast, without contrast. And he comes back and he said, well, I looked at the MRI. It looks like you've got a little small brain tumor on the right-hand side of your head. He said, it's not very big. He said, it's about half the size of a little peanut. And he said, it's not cancerous. We can probably just ignore it for a while and just keep a check on it, make sure it's not growing or anything. He said, the only thing it should do is make you lose train of thought. Talking once in a while, like gibberish. After a while, I say gibberish anyway, so it don't matter.
Yeah.
So I didn't think any more about it, and this shit just getting worse and worse. And I was stumbling and falling out quite a bit. And they kept sending me a physical therapist, the damn doctor did. And finally, after about 6 tries of physical therapy, the head girl over there, I can't remember her name, but she was a real nice girl. She said, Lester, we can't do nothing for you. She said, what's wrong with you? There is no cure for it that we can do.
Yeah.
And she said, we got to find out what's going on. And she contacted my new doctor at the time. Was Dr. Neighbor. They said he was about an asshole, but he was right no matter what. It don't matter what the radiologist reports or anything said. If he's seen something different through that damn report, he can come up with his own story.
Yeah.
And my doctor said, well, we'll send him over to St. Louis University Hospital to the neurology department. We'll find out what's going on. I get over there, first thing they do is do an MRI. We have contract without contract. And she come in the room, she says, what did Dr. Neighbor tell you? And when I did, I already got a copy of the MRI. It was back in 2007.
Yeah.
And I brought that with me. She looked at that. And she'd seen a radiologist. And I told her, well, you said I had a little small break in it. She was that ignorant son of a bitch. I never heard of my, big wig doctor cuss like that. She said the radiology report said in 2007 you had MS starting then.
Yeah.
You've had that for 10 years already now.
Yeah.
And that's in 2017.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of weird. And I think, if I am mistaken, I think that was the time that you and...
Yeah, me, my ex-wife, and my daughter London went to go see him at the hospital. At the time, we didn't exactly know what it was because his original doctor said he might have cancer. So we were all in the assumption that he's possibly dealing with cancer right here. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. But then again, this is permanent either way. So
yeah, this is something you don't get rid of. It don't go away.
Yeah.
You can fight it, which is what I've been doing for, since 2017.
Well, technically the 10 years plus this, so
2007, 2017, for 22 years? Well, I can't
so
think.
2007, it's 2025 minus 2017. That's, you know what, folks, you'll have to do the math on that.
Let me get my calculator real quick.
Yeah, my brain don't process like that.
I hate to feel stupid now.
Oh, you ain't stupid. It's sometimes hard to calculate that. So 2015 or 25. 5 minus 2017.
Minus 2007.
Oh, 2007. 18 years.
Yep. I've had it now for 18 years already. And there's no telling. I might have had it prior to 2007, but it didn't really do nothing to me back then. But, yeah, it's one of them things that you got to live with. You can't give up. I know several people. I know where Arrow, one of the women in the office, he said real good. She said, I knew you had it. I said, how'd you know that? She said, my mom had it. And she started off just like that. So put pets in and drop them. And she said within 3 years she was bedridden. Yeah. I said, really? I said, I've had it a lot longer than that already. I said, did she basically just lay down and give up? She said, yeah. She just gave up.
Yeah.
And I'd be so much stuff that I shouldn't do. But, it's a point where I don't give a damn. I may be crippled up, fall on the ground and everything else. I get right back up again.
Also, I don't mean to interrupt. I should have said this earlier, but for those who don't know, MS is a medical term for multiple sclerosis. And it is a disease that does what?
It leaves lesions on your brain, leaves lesions on your spinal cord, and all your nervous system is connecting, I call wires. The wires are going between, it eats the myelin coating off of everything, which makes them all short circuits. That's why my right leg is so weak, and it's deteriorated. My upper leg really has deteriorated. From the knee down, the calf is deteriorated about half of what the other one is. And my right hand and right arm, there's a big difference in them. The right one's already starting to deteriorate. But
now, I know the muscle is deteriorating, but can you feel anything below that, or?
Oh, I can feel it.
Okay.
There's a lot of pain there whenever I do something wrong, I guess. Shoot.
Lift the weight.
Cram.
Yeah.
Another
Spam.
cram.
Hate
About
those.
50 of them a day. But yeah, I'll just keep on plugging. The second we're sitting in right now is pavilion. I built that for get-togethers.
Yeah.
I built that last year.
Yeah. And I'll show you a quick video of that once this is done. Or I might put a picture on there.
And all the trees along the border over here, we were worried about falling on either my house or the neighbor's house on the north side.
That was a lot of work.
She can't afford to have anybody do it. And I couldn't afford to have somebody do it. So I got the chainsaw out, and her brother come over one day and got me on the one tree. I got out there on the other tree by myself and dropped it down. She said, how are you going to get them to fall the way you want? I said, watch this shit. I've cut enough trees down where I know how to do it. I dropped the first one down, and it landed right next to her container there, in between the trees and that container. And the second one I dropped, it dropped down, fell right on top of it.
Yeah, and then there was one where we had it all right on top of the fence over there, but that was the best we could do.
Yeah, there was no other way to pull it. It fell off the corner of the fence. So after we cut it up and got it off there, the fence just stretched right back up again.
Oh, yeah.
And there's probably 5 or 6 more of them over there I want to take down. I know we get cooler days. A day like this would be great.
Yeah. And on
no wind.
And on a day where it's not messing with you too bad.
Yeah.
And for me, where blood pressure's not messing with me too bad, because I'm not going to let him do it on his own.
But, on the MS, you got to learn a lot of shortcuts of how to do right. Because you can't do things like you used to.
No.
I cut wood and logs and stuff like that. I can cut the hell out of them. But if I got 3 cuts here, I'll get on my hands and knees and do the cut and get them 3 done. I'll do the saw sit, scoop my ass open and cut some more.
Yeah.
Do it like that.
Which, when we get to doing that, I might just bring you guys with so you can get first-hand experience of exactly what he has to go through when he does stuff like this. It's not easy. But he does get up, he does get it done. He doesn't let this MS stop him. Much like I don't let my mental issues get me down, I just don't let it stop me. It's a core belief of never giving up. No matter how bad life is, you don't quit. I don't know whether it was his military training that taught him that, or the fact that he raised me having that military knowledge, or the fact that even I went into the Army. I didn't stay very long because I had a mental breakdown, but I did go when I made the attempt. I went through all the training, and just right before I was about to be shipped to the next station, I just broke down. I couldn't do it. But I still didn't give up. I just knew I couldn't do it. And that's not giving up. That's admitting that something that you just aren't able to do. And I'm getting out there making these videos for you guys, of course for my family, and as I've stated in the previous video, this is my way of leaving a legacy behind for not just my daughter London, not just for my stepdaughter Kayla, but for all of you guys to see exactly what real life is. It's not all about the glitz and glamour. It's not all about fancy editing, fancy cuts. It's not about money or anything like that. It's about what really happens behind the scenes. It's about what really happens in life. We all have troubles. We all have issues. We all have struggles. We all, for most of us anyways, we all get out there and do the best we can with what we've got. And that is very admirable for anybody to do. And in my case, in his case, if anybody needs our help, we do our best to help them. If we get paid, that's awesome. If we don't worry about it. We still help them. Because that's what you're supposed to do with your neighbor. That is the core belief of us. Friends, family, it doesn't matter. If you're a friend to us, you are a family to us. That's what we believe in. And you don't really charge family. Now, if they offer money, you can either do one of 2 things. You can politely decline, which is acceptable, or you can just go ahead and take it. Because in a situation like with him, if I do some work and he offers me money, I know better than to decline, because if I don't take it, that's disrespecting him. And just the same, if I borrow money and I try to pay it back to him, if he doesn't take it, that's a disrespect to me. Which, that's just how we are. You can do it however you want, no judgment, to each their own. But I would like to thank you, Dad, on behalf of myself, my family, and for our family out there. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for your service. And for those who did not tell it to you, welcome home. Love you, Dad.
Yeah, I was in a time that, not too bad coming back to state. The 4 guys who went in during Vietnam, them were the ones I really feel bad for. They were shunned and spit on and trashed like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
And one of them, was a real close friend of mine, he died here about a month or so ago. And I did everything I could to help him. He needed a back deck built on his house. His insurance demanded he have one.
Yeah.
So I found a place where they had a whole stack of treated lumber. And it was dirt cheap. So I went up there and bought that whole load. And me and the wife went up there and we were building a back deck. But the bad thing about it is that deck was 6 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
And the steps, I think there's about almost 14 steps coming down. And I made the steps probably about 18 inches or better with tread length. That way it made it easier for him to get down. And what I did is on the side, I had marine plywood cut the same width as the steps. And I had them on hinges where they could be folded up, where you use a step. And if you didn't want to use a step, you just give it a little flip and flop down up there, and there's your ramp going down.
Yeah.
It was an angle that we could manage to get down to the wheelchair. I really want to put, what I owe you? You already paid me. You did things probably 4 years before me. He was born at 47, I think. He spent 4 years of Vietnam.
Yeah.
And
it messed him up.
He got a lot of stuff messed up in him.
Yeah.
And toward the end, he was almost bedridden.
Yeah. And as long, I know who he's talking about, I'm not going to put his name out there like that because I'm going to respect his privacy and his family's privacy. But growing up, he was a great guy. He's real nice. Always tried to include the kids, me and my sister. He always come over with a story to tell or a joke to tell, try to, entertain us or whatever. And there's one time he pretended to accidentally get a hook stuck in his finger from a fishing lure. He did it on purpose. I know it. He wanted to show me what real toughness was, so he just pulled it right out. He was tough. And towards the end, even tougher. Because he was still trying to live it the best he could. But it's getting close to the hour mark, and we're going ahead and let it go here, folks. I really hope you enjoyed things. If you want to see more videos with Dad in it, go that way. If you want to subscribe, there's a little icon somewhere down in this corner or that corner. I'll figure out where to put it.
Down there somewhere.
Make sure you smash that like button. And please share this to other people who would love to hear a story like this. And if you really want to, there's another video over here. So, thank you for your time. We love y'all. And y'all take it easy.